Wait, so you're telling me he finds out he's a teacher through his memory before he remembers his name? It's crazy. We still don't know his name. Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke, and today we're checking out Chapter 2 of Project Hail Mary, a book that I picked up because the trailer for the movie coming out in 2026 looks so good. My favorite trailer of the year so far. So, picked up the book and decided to do a chapter by chapter reaction review. And let me tell you, it's pretty gripping. Andy Weir is on one right here. There's a reason why this is a bestseller. It's very good. It's very good. In this chapter, we have two flashbacks that sort of open the world even further, even though he's in a two-room situation, and we really determine that we're in space. And so how he does that is he continues with the science project, and in the science project, he uses a string with a weight and runs a pendulum because he thinks it might be a centrifuge, right? If it's spinning on one axis, then if he's on the ends of the thing, gravity would be altered, right? Based on centripetal force. So once he figures out the whole deal, he figures out how big this mechanism would be, and there would be wind resistance, and he could hear it. He comes up with all of these thoughts about how this isn't even possible and how much bigger it is. And then he tries the experiment in another room, like the clock. He tries the experiment in the other room, and guess what? It's the same thing, even though one room is further away than the other. So he figures out, oh, well, I must be in space. And that's the moment when he has another flashback. And his flashback is him having dinner with an old college friend named Marissa, and they have a unique relationship. But she essentially works for the government, and she explains to him kind of what's happened with Venus, the Petrova, this Petrova thing, and how for whatever reason the sun, there's a Japanese NASA called JAXA. The sun is deluminescing. It's becoming less bright exponentially, and it's a worldwide issue. Not just millions of years, like 10 years, right? And she tells him this, and he realizes that when he comes out of this he's jogged out of this thing, he realizes, oh, I know all this science stuff. I must be a scientist. I must be some sort of astronomer or study planets or something. And so he goes back into the computer room and realizes that he needs for him to continue on and to leave the space, because right now he's only in his like the chamber where there's the bodies, and then there's a lab. He realizes the computer isn't going to let him leave unless he knows his name, and he realizes the computer is also binary, which goes to a prediction I have in a few minutes. But so he's gonna have to remember his name to do that, to move on, and because the computer won't let him. The computer continues to ask him, what's your name? He doesn't know it. And so what he also realizes is he must have been close with these people that are both unfortunately passed on. And he starts to get emotions, and he doesn't even know why he has these emotions. He just knows that he's super close to them. They're a crew. They're dependent on each other. That's actually a moment for me when he says we're a crew. That got me a little bit. But that's when something kind of strange happens. The computer says or delivers more food. And I said that's strange because is the computer sentient or is it binary? Because it sounds like it's like some sort of binary program. It's essentially set to do these, X number of protocols, keep these people alive, feed these people, whatever. But then he's so distraught that the computer brings him another tube of food. And it's described so well that he's so hungry and he probably doesn't even remember how to taste anything. It's like when you come back from COVID and you try a cookie for the first time again because you forgot what it tastes like, and then you eat it and you're just like, oh my God, or a slice of pizza. And so when he eats it, he suddenly feels better, and he notates even in the book that, yeah, of course I'm better. But yeah, that moment when he breaks down and he's crying and he feels for these people, and he can see the hole where the IV was in the female crew member, and he notices the male crew member is probably their leader. I mean, it got me a little bit. I was broken up about it. I was sad for him. You know, he can't even remember his own name. But that's when we get to another. He decides, hey, I need to remember my name so I can move on to the next level. And he even references video games, which I love. So, yeah. He then lays back in his little bed hammock thing and cot hammock bed thing. He lays back in this thing and he starts to try to reminisce again. And now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. Now we're getting to the entire world knows it's like a year and a half or a year later, and there's been a joint project between all the major nations in the world that have space exploration, and they've sent a probe to Venus to see this anomaly, this Petrova thing. And the goal, in the flashback, he's eating a TV dinner and he's by himself, intentionally, he remembers. And the goal was to capture the particles that are coming off that are inside this Petrova thing. And what the Dr. Brown, what he determines is, who I think is going to be a reoccurring character because they say his name so many times. What Dr. Brown finds out, what they find out through this really dramatic moment, is that they captured these particles in this unmanned space probe, and the particles are moving on their own without any shift in the ship, anything. These particles are moving. And so this being the most watched, most viewed television broadcast thing in the history of the planet that we know about, this thing, they witness these particles moving. It's the first sign of alien life, and everyone on the planet notices. That was a pretty cool. The way that's illustrated and the way that's so thoughtful is pretty interesting. But then our main guy here says, our John Doe says, he thinks, I can't wait to talk to my kids about this. And so then he realizes, oh, do I have kids? And he remembers that there's no mess in his apartment. There's no, he thinks he's single in his 30s. He doesn't know if he's straight or gay or anything. He lives in a small apartment, right? He notates all these things, so he's determining all these things. And then he remembers that, kids do love gum though. Every kid, all kids go through a gum phase. And that's his trigger. I'm a teacher. So you find out he's a teacher before you find out his name, which is fascinating. But that's the end of chapter 2. So we're inching closer, about 35, 40 pages in. We're inching closer to getting into the meat and potatoes of the plot here. We've discovered he's a teacher. We discovered he's a scientist. We discovered he's in his 30s, late 30s, I think. We've discovered that he's a pretty smart guy, and he went to graduate school with really smart people. So even if he's a school teacher, he might be underachieving. I don't know. That's my prediction. I think he's an underachieving person. But I have two actual predictions. One, the computer is there to keep him alive specifically. And that when resources maybe were lowering, and we'll find this out hopefully in the later of the book, the computer decided that the other 2 crew members weren't necessary. But he is. For the mission. which is gonna be horrible. I can't. If that's the case, that's gonna bother me. Yeah, that's my main prediction. And then my second prediction is that we'll figure out his name in the next chapter, and he'll move on to the next room, because I think we've kind of met our quota for discoveries in these 2 rooms. But yeah, I think we're gonna find out that the computer is there to keep him alive, awake, healthy. Yeah. Oh, and there's aliens. I like in this book that they don't kind of like, well, there's alien life. I like in this book that they don't actually like wait to reveal it. They're like, nah, this is gonna be part of the plot. So super interesting. Can't wait for chapter 3. Once again, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. We're going to continue. Going to do all 31 chapters and throw them up on the internet. And let us know in the comments what you think of Project Hail Mary so far, and what I can do to improve, because I want to make this content better for you all. So until next time, later, taters.